Well, welcome Life West community to another Life West podcast. Dr. Ron Oberstein coming at you. Today I have Tom Hyland. He actually sits in the office right next to me. Tom is our Director of Institutional Advancement Services. So welcome to the podcast, Tom.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Oberstein.
I don't know why we're talking on Zoom. We could be talking through the wall right now, I think, right?
I know. It's what all the cool kids are doing.
I guess so. And it's great to be called a kid. two older kids. Hey, Tom, it's really great to have you on. I know you've been doing some amazing things at the college. And, you know, a lot of people don't really know what's happening in certain areas of our college. And that's why we do these podcasts. So I'd love you to share, first of all, tell us about what yourself as Director of Institutional Advancement Services does, so our listeners can have an idea.
Okay. Well, our office is charged with outreach to various communities, including our donor community, the business community, and to our alumni. So I have a hand in a lot of different aspects of communicating our messaging to people in those communities, and also hearing what they have to say, what interests them. You know, I'm very focused on the donor community, so of course it's important to listen to what our benefactors have to say and how they feel they're supporting us, because it's important to have that conversation.
Yeah, and you know, for when people do support us, which I mean, I know that we've had record years lately of what you guys have been doing over in IA, which I'm very, very thankful for. It's really important for them to know that when they give money or they're giving whatever they're giving, right, product, whatever it might be, that it's how it's being used and that it's actually being used correctly as it was intended to be used, right?
Indeed. And that's our role as stewards, as in the stewardship process of, money or goods that are given to us. It's our responsibility to manage them well.
Yep. And one thing I want to kind of direct our audience to is that one of the big things that come out of IA, and I know, Tom, you're a big driver of these, I know this for sure because we've worked together on these, is our capital campaigns.
Yes.
We just finished the capital campaign, and now we're starting a new one because it's a yearly, we do them every year, right? So if you want to talk about the one that we just finished was really incredible. And to finish it in COVID was even more incredible, right? When people weren't around. But why don't you share about that?
Okay. Well, that was our Gross Anatomy Lab capital campaign. And the idea there, the heart of that campaign was to bring in several digital dissection tables, which will be used in the classrooms and the labs. It's very high tech and gives the instructors a wide range of teaching options, and then also the students, of course, learning outcomes from that. You're able to learn remotely, test remotely. There's a lot of good reasons for that. We'll be getting the second one by the end of the year, and that'll be going into the library, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. But the campaign also included some upgrades to the actual labs, and most exciting, I think, for most chiropractors is that the project included new cadavers and several sets of cadaver bones, because we do not want our students to lose the tactile aspect of the human form. It's not just all going digital. Yep. It was very important to us to communicate, and also very important for our donors. They asked about that a lot. Yeah, so. And you know what? I think I know there's schools who go into the digital realm. They go into the anatomages like we have, or other programs, and they totally leave their cadavers, right? And one thing that we were very strong on is making sure we keep our cadavers, and we have that not just the hands-on, but the visual of being able to see a real body, right? That's dissected, and be able to work through that, right? Because that's what they're going to be working on, is real bodies. So I think that's just really cool. And I know we did a phenomenal job, and Tom, your team did a phenomenal job on buttoning up that campaign, because it was a matching campaign, right? Correct.
So that means that every dollar that your team raised, the dollar was given from outside sources, right?
That's true. That's very true. Yes.
We can't get it unless we match it, which was really important to do. But I also know, as you just said a second ago, you alluded to when you said the library, right? Mm-hmm. We have a new capital campaign happening.
Yes, we do. We are on the dawn of the Library and Learning Commons campaign. So what that project is about is we are taking our existing library space and transforming it into a library and learning commons, and that is to adapt to newer styles of both teaching and learning. It'll be a lot of technology will be included in this project, upgrading everything we have, including wireless and whatnot, obtaining new tools that the students can use in this digital remote learning and virtual realm. So we have to be prepared for that. There will be all new furniture that is easily accommodated to different teaching group sizes and such, because that's a big part of a learning commons concept, is that people can either study in silence in the solitary mode, or they can get together with others and collaborate. So that's very important. Another huge aspect to this project too is the merging of the museum into the library and learning commons. So our history comes along with us as we're planning, moving into the future. Yeah. It's very exciting. It's very visually stimulating, very educational. And of course, Dr. Oberstein, you could talk far more intelligently about the library and the importance of the artifacts.
Well, yeah, you mean the museum? The museum, yeah, and it is so cool. And if our listeners haven't seen the new museum, please make it into the library and get a time to go see it, because they moved into a new space. It's beautiful. The wall space is just much more. There's so much more wall space. It's really great. And George Casey did a phenomenal job. Dr. Casey did just an amazing job moving everything and making this. It's just incredible. But I do want to give a shout out, because to Barbara Delegato, because she's been instrumental on the library, the Learning Commons redesign. One of the cool things though that I saw from the Learning Commons is that it's basically an inside out model. Like the old library, time when we grew up, I'm not saying we're old, we're still young kids on the block in technology at least, but, the old library was about, you couldn't talk, be quiet, and you had to go to outside rooms in order to be able to talk, right, and do that stuff. When I went to Michigan, that's what it was like in the libraries there, right? You found a place, everyone's found the same place, usually, same people, and then to talk, you'd have to walk out. Whereas this, we've switched it, right? So now the inside, you talk about the soft seating, that's about having group collaboration, boards, whiteboards they can wheel to each other and surround themselves and cave themselves in a fort if they wanted to, of whiteboards, TVs, with ways that they can put things on there, and it's going to be more collaborative on the inside, and then if they want to get quiet, they can go to the outside rooms, right?
Correct.
And it's really cool. And I for those who haven't seen it yet, it's already started, and the transformation has been amazing. And as we work over the next years of just bringing in more of the technology and more things, it's going to be the place on campus that everyone's going to want to be in, and just kind of and utilize all the services that are there.
Right, indeed. And I'd like to mention, as I said a little bit earlier, we're on the threshold of this campaign, but there's actually been a lot of work done over the past several months. And I'm very pleased to announce that this is $1 million campaign. So that is a big stretch for our community. But we do have the foundation. It is the William M. Family Harris Foundation, has very generously awarded us a $500,000 grant. It is a challenge grant. That means we have to raise the other $500,000 over the next 5 years.
Right.
So it'll be a lot of work, but it's something we're determined to do. We've already raised some money against this year's challenge. We're determined to make that happen by the end of December. We'll be putting out a lot more information in the November edition of the Life Chiropractic magazine. People will be able to learn. We have a website ready to go. People can learn a lot more about the project, also how they can support it themselves. Part of this, it's very exciting. And the thing about the library is it's alive. So as we advance through the years, it will grow, its concept will expand. So join us.
It is great. It is great. I'm really thrilled about that. Let's talk about just the last thing, and then we're going to kind of button up. But the latest in giving, like what's been the latest things that you've been working on, like new concepts and things like that?
Well, we're doing a couple of things. One is we're setting up a website with another company. It's an estate planning site where people can go to get information. Because although it's very nice to receive a donation through a check or through a credit card, a lot of people have wealth in other aspects of their life that they're interested in transmitting to organizations such as ours. For instance, donating appreciated stock, especially now with the stock market on the rise, is a very savvy way for people to give. Other people go to their IRAs and use their minimum distributions. There's various tax advantages to that. They're important. You should talk to your financial advisor. Don't listen to me. I'll do the finishing part. Okay. But you should, if you talk to a financial advisor, they'll tell you these are good ways. And we're prepared to work with people who are interested in donating this way.
That's great. That's great.
I mean, it's a little geeky on the fundraising side, but it's important.
Yeah, because, there's people out there who do have stocks, people out there who do have life insurance policies or whatever that they want to be able to bequeath to the college. 2 years ago, someone that passed away wouldn't even know about this person. And she had a great experience at our clinic. And, she had a $25,000 in her estate that came to Life West. We got a phone call saying, hey, this was left to you. We had to find out who it was, and it's just what happened. So certainly is nice. And that is a great way for sustainability, right?
Indeed.
For the future. It's really good. So that's so cool. So Tom, thank you. I appreciate all you're doing. For anyone who wants to meet Tom, please come down. He's right next door to my office in the administrative wing. And all you have to do is just ask anyone in the hallway, where's Tom? His door's always open. And he's just come by and meet him, because Tom's got some great ideas that, especially here, Tom, I'll help you out, especially if you have people that that want to give to chiropractic. Yeah. Tom's the guy to go see.
There you go.
And so, Tom, we always end our podcasts on the same question. It's based on our ethos of lasting purpose: give, do, love, and serve. Right? Out of those 4 words, and it can change at any time. So I could ask you right now, and the answer could be different in 3 minutes. So there's no wrong answer. Out of those 4 words of give, do, love, and serve, which word resonates with you right at this moment, and why?
I think serve. Because in my mind, I very much view that as my role, to serve those people who want to expand chiropractic. I'm just kind of a cog in the larger machinery, but I think our function is very important to having other people realize what they want to achieve on behalf of the college and the students. Yeah. So that's what I like to think we're doing here.
That's beautiful. And I like to think of it different than a cog. I like to think of it more as a conduit, because not only are you allowing the college to grow, but you're allowing people, to share their gifts, right? Whether it's their treasure, time, talent, or treasure, to give them avenues that they can give back to the college, which then helps the profession, helps our students, and then helps the world in general. So it's huge. I mean, the little cog was too small. The conduit can constantly increase. So Tom Hyland, thank you for being our guest today on the Life West podcast. I so appreciate you. And to our listeners, I want to thank you for listening in every week. Please spread this podcast, share it with others. Know that it's important that everything we're doing in the college is for the college. And if you're outside of our college, please think about giving. And you can always call Tom Hyland and reach out to him at the college. And we just appreciate, Tom, all that you're doing. Listeners, I'll come back at you again next week with another podcast. Just know that we love and appreciate you. Share your love with others. Keep serving others, and live your life from lasting purpose. Okay, until we meet again, or until I come back to you again, have a great week.